How many times have you found yourself chasing after something or someone that isn't giving you the same energy in return? Think about it. How many times have you poured your heart, your soul, your time into something that's not choosing you back? It could be a relationship, a job, a dream. But here's the truth: chasing after what doesn't want you is exhausting, and it's time to stop. You see, there's a freedom that comes when you finally let go of the things that don't choose you. There's a power in choosing yourself, in realizing that you don't have to beg for what's meant for you, because what's truly meant for you will come to you, no chasing required. See, life is too short, too precious to waste on things that don't want you, don't value you, don't choose you. I know sometimes we get caught up thinking, if I just try harder, if I just give more, then maybe, just maybe, things will turn around. But let me tell you something: you can give all you got, and if it ain't meant for you, it's never going to turn around. That's not how it works. We've all been in that place where we're holding on to something that isn't holding us back, where we're trying to convince ourselves that if we just push a little harder, if we just wait a little longer, things will change. And maybe, just maybe, the thing we're holding on to will finally start choosing us. But here's the reality: you can't force something that's not meant for you to stay. You can't make someone or something see your worth if they're not ready or willing to. And the longer you try, the more you lose a piece of yourself in the process. I know how it is. We all want to feel chosen. We all want to feel valued. We want to believe that the things we invest in, our time, our energy, our love, will eventually pay off. But sometimes we've got to be brave enough to face the truth that no matter how much we give, no matter how much we care, it's just not reciprocated. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of the situation or the person you're investing in. You've got to learn to separate the two. One of the hardest things in life is walking away from something that you thought was going to be different, from something that you thought was going to be worth the effort. You start to ask yourself, what if I just hold on a little longer? What if I wait just a bit more? But you know what happens when you keep waiting for something that isn't choosing you? You start to lose sight of your own worth. You start to believe that maybe you're not enough, that maybe you don't deserve better. And that's the trap. You see, the fear of letting go often stems from a fear of the unknown. We're afraid that if we let go of what we have, no matter how unfulfilling or toxic it may be, we might end up with nothing. But I'm here to tell you, holding on to what's not choosing you is a form of self-sabotage. It's a way of blocking the blessings that are meant to come your way. You've got to make room in your life for the things that are meant for you. And sometimes that means letting go of the things that aren't. Now, I know this isn't easy. It takes courage to walk away from something you've put so much into. It takes strength to stop choosing what's not choosing you. But think about it, what are you really giving up by letting go? You're giving up the pain of being overlooked, the frustration of being undervalued, the exhaustion of chasing something that's running away from you. You're giving up the stress, the sleepless nights, the constant second guessing. And in exchange, you're making space for something that's going to fill you up, something that's going to choose you just as much as you choose it. There's a certain freedom that comes with letting go of what doesn't serve you. It's like dropping a weight you didn't even realize you were carrying. And once you do, you'll start to see things more clearly. You'll realize that you don't have to fight so hard for the things that are meant for you. You'll understand that what's truly meant to be in your life will flow to you naturally. It won't feel like a constant battle. You deserve more than to be someone's second choice, more than to be an afterthought. You deserve to be someone's priority, to be valued for who you are, not for what you can do for them. And the same goes for any situation, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a dream. If it's not choosing you back, if it's not giving you what you deserve, then it's time to reevaluate. It's time to stop chasing and start receiving. I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm giving up too soon? What if I'm missing out on something great because I didn't try hard enough? And I get that. But let me ask you this, how much more are you willing to give to something that's not giving back? How much longer are you willing to wait for someone or something to see your worth? The truth is, sometimes we've got to let go of the good in order to make room for the great. And you've got to trust that the great is out there waiting for you. When you stop choosing what's not choosing you, you take back control of your life. You stop allowing external forces to dictate your happiness, your peace, your worth. You become the one in charge, and that's powerful because now, instead of being at the mercy of someone else's decisions, you get to decide what stays and what goes in your life. You get to choose what aligns with your values, with your goals, with your heart. And here's the thing, when you start choosing yourself, when you start setting boundaries and standing up for what you deserve, you send a message to the world about how you expect to be treated. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourselves. So if you're constantly choosing things that don't choose you, you're telling the world that it's okay to undervalue you. But when you choose yourself, when you walk away from what doesn't serve you, you're saying, I know my worth and I won't settle for anything less. This isn't about being selfish or self-centered. It's about self-respect. It's about understanding that you deserve to be loved, appreciated, and valued in all areas of your life. And if something isn't giving you that, then it's time to let it go. Because at the end of the day, you only have so much time, so much energy. Why waste it on something that's not choosing you? So here's what I want you to do. Take a look at your life. Take a good hard look at the people, the situations, the dreams you're holding on to. Ask yourself, are they choosing you? Are they giving back to you in the same way you're giving to them? And if the answer is no, then it's time to make a change. It's time to let go of what's not choosing you and start making room for what will. It's not easy. It's not comfortable. But I promise you this, once you start choosing yourself, once you stop settling for less than what you deserve, your life will change in ways you never imagined. You'll start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right situations. And you'll look back one day and wonder why you ever wasted so much time chasing after what wasn't meant for you. Because here's the truth, what's meant for you won't make you chase it. What's meant for you will meet you halfway. It'll choose you just as much as you choose it. And that's the kind of love, the kind of success, the kind of life you deserve. So stop choosing what's not choosing you. Stop chasing after things that aren't meant for you. Start choosing yourself, start believing in your worth, and watch how everything else falls into place. I want you to really think about those times when you kept choosing something or someone that just wasn't choosing you back. I mean, really sit with that for a moment. Think about the energy you poured into it, the late nights worrying, the countless conversations where you tried to make sense of it, the mental gymnastics of trying to figure out how to make it work. You gave so much of yourself, didn't you? And in return, what did you get? Probably nothing close to what you were hoping for. That's the thing. That's the cost of choosing what doesn't choose you. It pulls from you in ways you can't even see at first. It drains you bit by bit, day by day, until you look up one day and realize you've got nothing left to give. You've been pouring out all this energy, all this love, all this effort, and none of it is being returned to you. It's like pouring water into a cup with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much you put in, it just slips away. And then you wonder why you feel so empty. But let me tell you something, it's not because you're not enough. It's not because you're lacking. It's because what you're chasing, what you're holding on to, was never meant for you. And that's a hard pill to swallow. We want to believe that if we try hard enough, if we're patient enough, if we love deeply enough, eventually things will turn around. But that's not how it works. You see, life has a way of aligning you with what's meant for you. And when you're aligned with something that's truly meant for you, there's no force, no strain, no struggle. It just flows. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to keep knocking on a door that won't open. You don't have to keep proving yourself, hoping that one day you'll be enough to be chosen. Because what's meant for you is already on its way to you. It recognizes you just as much as you recognize it. It's mutual. It's balanced. But too often we find ourselves in one-sided situations. We're the only ones choosing, the only ones fighting to keep it alive, the only ones making an effort. And we think maybe if I just give a little more, maybe if I just hang on a little longer, it'll work out. But let me tell you something, hanging on to something that's not choosing you back is only delaying what's actually meant for you. You're keeping yourself stuck in a place where you don't belong. And for what? Out of fear, out of comfort, out of habit. I get it though. I get why we do it. There's a fear of letting go because we don't know what's on the other side. We think, what if I let this go and there's nothing better? What if I'm giving up on something that could have been great? But let me tell you something, what's waiting for you is far better than what you're holding on to. If that thing you're holding on to isn't choosing you. See, when you stop choosing what's not choosing you, you create space in your life. Space for the things that will appreciate you, love you, respect you. And that's what you deserve. Too often we settle for less because we don't believe that better is out there for us. We convince ourselves that this is as good as it gets. And that's a lie. That's fear talking. I want you to understand this. You are worthy of being chosen. You are worthy of being someone's priority, not an option, not an afterthought. And if a person, a job, a dream isn't making you feel that way, then it's time to let it go. It's time to walk away. Because the longer you hold on to what's not choosing you, the longer you delay what is. And that's the thing about life. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving forward, whether you're ready or not. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but Denzel, I've invested so much in this. I've spent so much time, so much effort. I can't just walk away now. And I hear you. But let me ask you this, how much more time are you willing to invest in something that's not investing in you? How much more of yourself are you willing to give to something that's not giving back? Because here's the truth, time is one of the most precious things you have. You can't get it back. So why waste it on something that's not choosing you? Life is short, man. Too short to keep pouring yourself into things that don't pour back into you. Too short to keep chasing after people or opportunities that don't see your value. You've got to know your worth. You've got to believe that you deserve more than to be left waiting, to be left wondering if you're enough. You are enough. But it's up to you to walk away from the things that make you feel otherwise. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to let go of what's not meant for you. It's painful. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Because if you don't let go, you'll never be able to grab onto what's next. And what's next is always better, always greater than what you're leaving behind. It may not feel like it in the moment, but trust me, in time, you'll see that what you let go of wasn't even close to what you deserve. And I'll tell you something else, letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's not giving up. It's recognizing that you deserve better. It's standing up for yourself, for your worth, for your peace of mind. And that takes strength. That takes courage. It's easy to stay where you are, to keep choosing what's comfortable, even if it's not fulfilling. But it takes real strength to walk away, to say, I deserve more than this. When you stop choosing what's not choosing you, you'll start to feel lighter. You'll start to see things more clearly. You'll realize that you were carrying a weight that wasn't yours to carry. And once you let go of that weight, you'll make room for the things that will fill you up, that will lift you up, that will choose you just as much as you choose them. It's time to stop settling. It's time to stop convincing yourself that this is the best you can do. You're capable of more. You're worthy of more. And it's out there waiting for you, but you've got to be willing to let go of what's not choosing you in order to make room for it. You deserve to be chosen. You deserve to be valued, appreciated, respected. And if you're not getting that, then it's time to walk away. It's time to stop choosing what's not choosing you. Because at the end of the day, life is too short to spend it waiting for someone or something to see your worth. You've got to see it for yourself. You've got to believe in it, stand in it, and let go of anything that doesn't. So what are you holding on to that's not choosing you? What are you afraid to let go of? And more importantly, why are you afraid? Because once you let go, you'll see that the fear was holding you back from something far greater. And that, my friend, is the lesson you need to learn. Stop choosing what's not choosing you and start choosing yourself. You can't move forward while you're still holding on to the past. It's like trying to walk with a ball, and chain around your ankle is going to slow you down, and eventually it's going to stop you altogether. Life is about moving forward, growing, evolving. But you can't do any of that if you're clinging to things that no longer serve you. You can't embrace what's next for you if you're too busy looking back at what's already behind you. There's a reason why your rearview mirror is smaller than your windshield. You're not supposed to spend your life looking behind you. You're supposed to be looking ahead at what's coming, at what's possible. But some of y'all are out here still stuck on what didn't work, still holding on to things, people, situations that aren't for you. You're standing in a doorway that's closed, banging on it, hoping it'll open when the truth is there's another door, better door, wide open, just waiting for you to walk through it. But here's the thing, you can't move on to what's next if you're still holding on to what's behind you. You can't step into the next chapter of your life if you're stuck in the last one. And let me tell you, holding on to what's behind you, that's not only robbing you of your future, it's robbing you of your present too. You're missing out on the now because you're too busy worrying about what was. You're missing out on opportunities, relationships, growth, because you're still trying to make sense of something that wasn't meant for you in the first place. You've got to let go. You've got to stop choosing what's not choosing you. I know it's hard. I know it feels like you're losing something, but sometimes letting go is the only way to gain something even greater. You've got to trust that what's meant for you will never pass you by, and what's not meant for you will fall away. That's just the way life works. The more you hold on to what's not for you, the more you block the blessings that are trying to come into your life. I know what some of y'all are thinking right now. But Denzel, what if I let go and nothing better comes along? What if I'm left with nothing? Let me tell you something, you will never be left with nothing as long as you've got yourself. That's the key right there. You've got to understand that you are enough. You are worthy. You are deserving of everything good that life has to offer. But you've got to believe that first. Because when you let go of what's not choosing you, when you clear out all that dead weight, you make room for what will. You make room for the people, the opportunities, the experiences that are aligned with who you are and what you deserve. Stop selling yourself short. Stop settling for less than what you know you deserve. You don't have to chase anything. You don't have to beg anyone to see your worth. And let me tell you something else, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to bend over backward trying to convince someone to love you, to respect you, to value you. Because when it's right, when it's aligned with who you are, it just fits. It just flows. You won't have to chase it because it'll choose you just as much as you choose it. And here's the truth. Sometimes the person you need to stop choosing is yourself. Now, Hold on, let me explain what I mean. I'm not talking about the real you. I'm talking about that version of yourself that keeps settling, that version of yourself that accepts less than what you know you deserve. Sometimes the hardest thing to let go of is the part of you that's holding yourself back. That voice in your head that tells you this is all you're going to get, so you better hold on to it. That voice that says you're not worthy of more. You're not good enough. You don't deserve better. You've got to stop choosing the fear. You've got to stop choosing the doubt. You've got to stop choosing the version of yourself that's afraid to take that leap of faith, afraid to let go of what's familiar, afraid of the unknown. Because that fear, that doubt, it's not real. It's just a story you've been telling yourself. And the longer you hold on to that story, the longer you'll stay stuck in a place that's not meant for you. You've got to stop choosing that version of yourself that's comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know the one I'm talking about, the part of you that's willing to stay in situations that aren't right for you because it's easier than facing the unknown. But let me tell you something, you'll never find what you're looking for if you stay stuck in what's comfortable. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Change doesn't happen in comfort. So if you want more, if you want better, you've got to let go of that version of yourself that's too afraid to step into what's next. You've got to choose yourself. The real you, the one who knows their worth, the one who isn't afraid to walk away from what's not serving them, the one who knows that sometimes letting go is the most powerful thing you can do. When you choose yourself, when you honor yourself, when you value yourself, you set the standard for how others will treat you. You set the tone for what you will and won't accept in your life. And let me tell you, that's powerful. Because when you stop choosing what's not choosing you, you send a message to the universe that you are ready for what's meant for you. You let the world know that you're not settling anymore, that you're ready for something greater. But here's the thing, you've got to be willing to let go first. You've got to be willing to trust that what's on the other side of that closed door is something better than what you're holding on to right now. You've got to trust that the space you're creating by letting go will be filled with something or someone that sees your worth, that values you, that chooses you. But that won't happen if you're still holding on to what's not for you. I want you to think about the things in your life right now that aren't choosing you. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a dream that just doesn't seem to be working out. Whatever it is, ask yourself this: why are you still choosing it if it's not choosing you? Why are you still holding on to something that's not giving back to you? And more importantly, what are you missing out on because you're too busy holding on to something that's not for you? Let me tell you something, it takes courage to let go. It takes strength to stop choosing what's not choosing you. But once you do, once you let go of what's holding you back, you'll start to see things more clearly. You'll start to feel lighter. You'll start to attract the things, the people, the opportunities that are truly meant for you because you've made space for them. You've cleared out all that dead weight, all those things that weren't serving you, and now you're ready for what's next. And don't be afraid of being alone. Don't be afraid of having that space. Sometimes we hold on to things that aren't choosing us because we're afraid of what life will look like without them. We're afraid of the void they'll leave behind. But let me tell you something, that void, that space, that's where the magic happens. That's where growth happens. That's where you get to reconnect with yourself, where you get to discover who you are without all the noise, without all the distractions. And once you get comfortable with that space, once you start to fill it with things that align with who you are, you'll realize that letting go was the best thing you could have ever done. You see, life isn't about holding on to what's comfortable. It's about stepping into the unknown, trusting that what's meant for you will find you when you make space for it. It's about letting go of what's not choosing you so that you can be ready for what will. And when you do that, when you finally let go of what's not serving you, you'll start to see the beauty in the space you've created. You'll start to attract the people, the opportunities, the experiences that are truly meant for you. So I'm asking you, what are you holding on to that's not choosing you? What are you afraid to let go of? And more importantly, why are you afraid? Because once you let go, you'll see that the fear was holding you back from something far greater. And that's the lesson, that's the message. Stop choosing what's not choosing you and start choosing yourself. Start choosing your worth, start choosing your future, because when you do, the world will rise to meet you. The opportunities will come. The people who are meant for you will find you. But you've got to be willing to let go first. You've got to be willing to trust that what's next is better than what's behind you. So stop choosing what is not choosing you. Stop holding on to things that aren't holding on to you. Let go of the people, the situations, the opportunities that don't see your worth, that don't honor your value, and start choosing yourself. Start choosing your peace, your joy, your happiness. Start choosing the things that fill you up, that lift you higher, that bring you closer to who you truly are. You deserve that. You deserve to be chosen. You deserve to be valued. And the moment you stop choosing what's not choosing you, you open the door to all the things that are. You make room for the people, the opportunities, the experiences that will choose you just as much as you choose them. So I'm going to leave you with this: stop choosing what's not choosing you. It's time. It's time to let go of what's holding you back. It's time to step into the life you deserve. Because, darling, you are worthy of being chosen. And the things that are meant for you, they will choose you right back.